Just announced, folks, according to federalreserve.gov, and you can go check this out on their website, federalreserve.gov. It has been announced that July is going to be the rollout date for what many have been almost, I guess, maybe split 50-50, anxiously awaiting and also dreading and fearing. Now, granted, folks, CBDC, central bank digital currency, is potentially going to have huge impacts and implications on our day-to-day lives, our ability to conduct business and transactions, most importantly, remain anonymous in some peer-to-peer, seemingly cash transactions, but also having the ability for the central banks, the government, politicians, lawmakers to have the ability to track, trace, and tax us on everything that we do financially. However, in this particular situation, in this particular instance, I want to share with you what was released March 15, 2023. Federal Reserve announces July launch for the FedNow service. I'm going to read this to you guys. The service will debut with financial institutions and the U.S. Treasury on board. Chicago, the Federal Reserve announced that the FedNow service will start operating in July and provided details on preparations for launch. The first week of April, the Federal Reserve will begin the formal certification of participants for launch of the service, and adopters will complete a custom testing and certification program informed by feedback from the FedNow pilot program to prepare for sending live transactions through the system. The certification encompasses a comprehensive testing curriculum with defined expectations for operational readiness and network experience. In June, the Federal Reserve and certified participants will conduct production validation activities to confirm readiness for the July launch. I'm going to read this to you from Ken Montgomery, Vice President of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston and FedNow Program Executive, and I quote, "We couldn't be more excited about the forthcoming FedNow launch, which will enable every participating financial institution, the smallest to the largest, and from all corners of the country to offer a modern instant payment solution." And it goes on to say, and I quote, "With the launch drawing near, we urge financial institutions and their industry partners to move full steam ahead with preparations to join the FedNow service." End quote. Many early adopters have declared their intent to begin using the service in July, including a diverse mix of financial institutions of all sizes, the largest processors, and the U.S. Treasury. In addition to preparing early adopters for the July launch, the Federal Reserve continues to engage in a range of financial institutions and service providers to complete the testing and certification program and implement the service throughout 2023 and beyond. Montgomery noted that availability of the service is just the beginning, and growing the network of participating financial institutions will be key to increasing the availability of instant payments for consumers and businesses across the country. The FedNow service will launch with a robust set of core clearing and settlement functionality and value-added features. More features and enhancements will be added in future releases to continue supporting safety, resiliency, and innovation in the industry as the FedNow network expands in the coming years. With the FedNow service, the Federal Reserve is creating a leading-edge payment system that is resilient, adaptive, and accessible, all according to Tom Barkin, president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond and FedNow program executive sponsor. Also, and I quote, "The launch reflects an important milestone in the journey of to help financial institutions serve customer needs for instant payments to better support nearly every aspect of our economy." End quote. Now, it says here, according to federalreserve.gov, about the FedNow service, that the Federal Reserve banks are developing the FedNow service to facilitate nationwide reach of instant payment services by financial institutions, regardless of size or geographic location, around the clock, every day of the year. Through financial institutions participating in the FedNow service, businesses and individuals will be able to send and receive instant payments at any time of day, and recipients will have full access to funds immediately, giving them greater flexibility to manage their money and make time-sensitive payments. Access will be provided through the Federal Reserve's FedLine network, which serves more than 10,000 financial institutions directly or through their agents. Now, this, like I said, folks, is directly from federalreserve.gov, so you can fact check and reread yourself. But I also want to share with you what CoinDesk shared, as the U.S. Federal Reserve's real-time payment system is coming in July from a cryptocurrency point of view, as it being CoinDesk.com. Now, a lot of folks have been asking about CBDC, central bank digital currency. These banking failures, crashes, collapses, systemic risks, contagion, as well as other ways of diversifying and implementing new ways of conducting business, saving money, protecting their wealth. XRP, Ripple, BTC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH, Doge, Shiba. The list goes on and on, folks. But it said that the new government-operated payment system, often used as an argument against the need for crypto's payments innovations, will have its first participants certified within weeks. And that the U.S. Federal Reserve, now this is according to CoinDesk.com, dated March 15 as well. And it says that the U.S. Federal Reserve is activating its long-awaited real-time payment system in July. The central bank said in a Wednesday statement. So, folks, mark your calendars. And this is marking a transition that some have seen as a government challenge of the crypto sector's instant transaction advantages. The FedNow service, meant to solve the existing delays for clearing financial transactions between institutions, will begin certifying its participants at the beginning of next month, April. And the system will operate around the clock and provide immediate full access to funds. Now, most of this looks to be almost word for word from the federalreserve.gov that I just read to you. Here it says that FedNow has also been seen as a potential precursor to the central bank digital currency, CBDC, that everybody's worried about. CBDC likely having the ability to wipe out the dollar, fiat currency as we know it. A lot of people are rushing, as I can tell from the comments and the information that I have received, the emails, the messages on Patreon, direct communication with the links in the description down below, as people are rushing to Hard Assets Alliance, trying to secure precious metal, gold, silver. And it says that FedNow has also been seen as a potential precursor to a central bank digital currency, CBDC, that everybody's worried about. Why? Because if this wipes out the dollar and we go to a digital dollar, or a Biden dollar is what some people are calling it, the Biden dollar, which somebody actually said it's a dollar that nobody trusts and it doesn't work. Basically what that means is tracking, tracing, taxing every transaction. Far worse than the IRS and their 1099-K for transactions over $600 on Cash App or PayPal to friends and family for anything. We could potentially see businesses and industries completely wiped out, or at least forced to implement expensive changes and costs that could drastically change their ability to survive. For instance, any cash-based business, like a lemonade stand, for instance, or even a hot dog stand, or vending machines, or even in some cases, let's just say a tip-based service or adult industries. All of these are going to be impacted severely, heavily by CBDC. Now, though the service could also undermine one of the key strengths of a digital dollar, the ability to transfer instantly, Fed officials have said the agency hasn't made any decisions about a future U.S. CBDC, which they say would need the support of Congress, the Biden administration, and the public. And I feel as though that right now, with Representative Tom Emmer and his push against it for reasons that are unconstitutional and severe threats and invasions of privacy and security, as well as the public. So really, it would really seem like of these three, the Biden administration would probably be the only one really pushing for it. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would prefer central bank digital currency as CBDC. The federal officials, including Fed Chair Jerome Powell, the Fed Governor Lael Brainerd, and the then Federal Trade Commission Commissioner, now Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director Rohit Chopra, have also cited concerns about the proliferation of certain private stablecoins like the now shuttered Diem, formerly Libra, project, as a sign that a real-time payment network is needed. Jarrett Seegberg, An analyst at TD Cowen suggested the system might actually be of use to crypto investors as a way for them to fund and cash out of trades without having to leave cash or digital dollars on a trading platform. And again, folks, links in the description, 100% free links. Go check out the Ledger Nano X, which is a cold storage wallet. It allows you to hold your keys to your crypto tokens off the exchanges, which is literally what is being said here is stating being able to fund and cash out of trades without having to leave cash or digital dollars on a trading platform. And that is very risky, folks. The Fed's new system for transactions won't be the first, though, because the banking industry already launched its own RTP network, and that similar private sector competitor has been operating since 2017. And last but not least, I want to bring you what CNBC has to say about this, which is long-awaited Fed digital payment system to launch in July, also reported March 15, 2023. And the Federal Reserve's digital payment system, which is promises will help speed up the way money moves, will debut in July. Mark your calendars. FedNow, as it will be known, will create a leading-edge payment system that is resilient, adaptive, and accessible, said Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin, who is the program's executive sponsor. The system will allow bill payments, money transfers such as paychecks and disbursements from the government, as well as a host of other consumer activities to move more rapidly and at lower costs, according to the program's goals. So heads up, anyone on Social Security, SSA, SSI, SSDI, anyone receiving a check from the U.S. Treasury, anyone hoping, banking, praying for a stimulus check of some sort to come out, odds are it's going to be processed through the FedNow payment system. Participants will complete a training and certification process in early April, according to a Fed announcement. Therefore, I would say you might want to stay on top of this to make sure that you don't see any disruptions in your disbursements and in your benefits that you receive. Stating here that with the launch drawing near, we urge financial institutions and their industry partners to move full steam ahead with preparations to join the FedNow service. And this is according to Ken Montgomery, the program executive and first vice president at the Boston Fed, which helped spearhead the project under former Boston Fed President Eric Rosengren. Institutions that participate in the program will have 7-day, 24-hour access, opposed to a system currently in place that closes on weekends. Program advocates say it will get money out to the people much more quickly. For instance, they said government payments like those issued in the early days of the C-19 pandemic would have been credited to accounts immediately rather than the days it took to reach most people, some of which saying that they've actually never received their benefits. Some saying that they've received 3 stimulus checks. Comment down below, how many stimulus checks did you get? How many of them were paper checks? How many of them were direct deposits, as well as the child tax credits and any other stimulus that was offered during the CARES Act to help people with C-19? It says here that, according to CNBC, some Fed officials say the program even could supplant the need for a central bank digital currency, although others say this is potentially the first step towards a central bank digital currency. But again, I really want to know what you guys have to say, your opinions, your thoughts, your concerns about moving forward with not only FedNow and this new 24-hour, 365-day-a-year payment processing system, but the central bank taking over, digital dollars being in place, the Biden dollar or central bank digital currency that we have seen in pilot programs through many large U.S. Wall Street banks, as well as other countries implementing the same, while also buying up tons and tons, literally, of gold to back their reserves on these new CBDCs. Folks, remember, Hard Assets Alliance, free link in the description down below. Check it out. Diversity, security, cash flow. Let's stay ahead of this. Let's stay informed. Let's stay knowledgeable. Let's stay educated. Let's stay and work together. You got any questions, comments, concerns? Hit me up. Drop them down below. Until next time, you guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon. Bye.